Hello, friends. We're enjoying some jasmine green tea. This one's for you. Hope you've been doing well. Hope you've had a good week so far. So good. Alright, so today's story is a little bit darker than normal. So just a reminder, these are not kids' stories. Trigger warning, this does deal with murder and death and endangerment. Alright, so today's story is called Bluebeard. There once was a man who lived in a forest with his 3 sons and a beautiful daughter. One day a golden coach drawn by 6 horses and attended by several servants came driving up to his house. After the coach stopped, a king stepped out and asked him if he could have his daughter for his wife. The man was happy that his daughter could benefit from such a stroke of good fortune and immediately said yes. What kind of dad just says yes? Like, seriously. Oh my gosh. Like, I have a daughter, and if some dude pulled up in a Lamborghini and was like, hey, I want to marry... No, it doesn't work that way. Oh my goodness. I mean, obviously, if she wanted to, that's her life, but... Alright, sorry. There was nothing objectionable about the suitor except for his beard, which was all blue and made one shudder somewhat whenever one looked at it. At first the maiden also felt frightened by it, and resisted marrying him. But her father kept urging her, and finally she consented. However, her fear was so great that she first went to her brothers, took them aside, and said, "Dear brothers, if you hear me scream, leave everything standing or lying wherever you are, and come to my aid." The brothers kissed her and promised to do this. "Farewell, dear sister. If we hear your voice, we'll jump on our horses and soon be at your side." I just feel like that's a warning right there. Like, if your sibling comes to you and says, hey, if I call you, come running immediately. My life may be in danger. Like, isn't that a red flag? Like a bright red... Sorry. Back to the story. Then she got into the coach, sat down next to Bluebeard, and drove away with him. When she reached his castle, she found everything splendid, and whatever the queen desired was fulfilled. They would have been very happy together if she could only have accustomed herself to the king's blue beard. However, whenever she saw it, she felt frightened. After some time had passed, he said to her, "I must go on a great journey. Here are the keys to the entire castle. You can open all the rooms and look at everything. But I forbid you to open one particular room with this little golden key that unlocks it. If you open it, you will pay for it with your life." She took the key and promised to obey him. Once he had departed, she opened one door after another and saw so many treasures and magnificent things that she thought they must have been gathered from all over the world. Soon nothing was left but the forbidden room. Since the key was made of gold, she believed that the most precious things were probably kept there. Her curiosity began to gnaw at her, and she would certainly have passed over all the other rooms if she could only have seen what was in this one. At last her desire became so strong that she took the key and went to the room. Who could possibly see when I open it?" she said to herself. "I'll just glance inside." Then she unlocked the room, and when the door opened, a stream of blood flowed toward her, and she saw dead people hanging all along the walls, some only skeletons. Her horror was so tremendous that she immediately slammed the door, but the key popped out of the lock and fell into the blood. Swiftly she picked it up and tried to wipe away the blood, but to no avail. When she wiped the blood away on one side, it appeared on the other. She sat down, rubbed the key throughout the day, and tried everything possible, but nothing helped. The bloodstains could not be eliminated. Finally, in the evening, she stuck it into some hay, which was supposed to be able to absorb blood. The following day, Bluebeard came back, and the first thing he requested was a bunch of keys. Her heart pounded as she brought the keys, and she hoped he would not notice that the golden one was missing. However, he counted all of them, and when he was finished, he said, "Where's the key to the secret room?" As he said this, he looked straight into her face, causing her to blush red as blood. "It's upstairs," she answered. I misplaced it. Tomorrow I'll go and look for it." "You'd better go now, dear wife. I need it today." "Oh, I might as well tell you. I lost it in the hay. I'll have to go and search for it first." "You haven't lost it," Bluebeard said angrily. "You stuck it there so the hay would absorb the bloodstains. It's clear that you've disobeyed my command and entered the room. Now you will enter the room whether you want to or not." Then he ordered her to fetch the key, which was still stained with blood. "Now prepare yourself for your death. You shall die today," Bluebeard declared. He fetched his big knife and took her to the threshold of the house. "Just let me say my prayers before I die," she said. "All right. Go ahead, but you'd better hurry. I don't have much time to waste." She ran upstairs and cried out of the window as loud as she could, "Brothers, dear brothers, come, help me!" The brothers were sitting in the forest and drinking some cool wine. The youngest said, "I think I hear our sister's voice. Let's go. We must hurry and help her." They jumped on their horses and rode like a turbulent wind. Meanwhile, their sister was on her knees praying in fear. "Well, are you almost done?" Bluebeard called from below, and she heard him sharpening his knife on the bottom step. She looked out the window, but could only see a cloud of dust as if a herd were coming. So she screamed once again, "Brothers, dear brothers, come help me!" And her fear became greater and greater when Bluebeard called, "If you don't come down soon, I'll be up to get you. My knife's been sharpened." She looked out the window again and saw her 3 brothers riding across the field as though there were birds flying through the air. For the 3rd time she screamed desperately and with all her might, "Brothers, dear brothers, come help me!" That was a little... never mind. The youngest brother was already so near that she could hear his voice. "Calm yourself. Another moment, dear sister, and we'll be at your side." But Bluebeard cried out, "That's enough praying. I'm not going to wait any longer. If you don't come, I'm going to fetch you." "Oh, just let me pray for my 3 dear brothers." However, he would not listen to her. Instead, he went upstairs and dragged her down. Then he grabbed her by the hair and was about to plunge the knife into her heart when the 3 brothers knocked at the door, charged inside, and tore their sister out of his hands. They drew out their sabers and cut him down. Afterward, he was hung up in the bloody chamber next to the other bodies he had killed. Later, the brothers took their dear sister home with them, and all Bluebeard's treasures belonged to her. The end. Man, I understand that when these stories were written, wealth was considered safety, and it was considered a good thing for someone's daughter to marry a wealthy person, but you gotta, listen to your gut, right? I mean, if somebody doesn't pass, what do they call it? The vibe check, as kids say, then that's probably not a person to go with. I mean, that dude had red flags everywhere. Especially the part with the brothers. When she's going to her brothers and saying, "Hey, if I scream for help, will you come help me?" Like, I'm sorry. If my sister was getting married and she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to marry this guy. He's really wealthy, but if I ever call you and say I'm in danger, will you come get me? I'm kind of afraid for my life here." Like, what kind of family? Anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Alright, friends. It is time for your next adventure. I'll miss you. Cheers. I feel like I need the Masterpiece Theater music to kind of close me out.